crunching the numbers, Saskatoon City Council pours over the budget numbers. Homelessness in Saskatoon, why more people are living without a permanent place to live. And small businesses looking for a boost, what they're hoping for after months of slow consumer spending.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. Saskatoon's marathon budget deliberations have begun, with City Council looking to dig into the proposed 7.4% property tax for 2026. Keenan Sorokon has more on today's progress.
Budget deliberations began with councillors approving one of the most costly items over the next 2 years, with the Saskatoon police budget getting the all clear. The more than $22 million increase to its budget over the next 2 years will add 3.7% to property taxes on its own, and not everyone was on board with the large increase.
I struggle with the investments we're making in police at record-breaking rates and expecting something different in our community.
But police were upfront, saying the increase is largely driven by collective bargaining awarded by an arbitrator, and without it, taxes would have gone up only 2.2%.
I'm definitely alive to the fact that it's a significantly large increase over 2025.
Much of the increase is going towards the 20 new hires on the books next year and the 29 new hires in 2027, which Chief McBride says are sorely needed.
I can say for sure that our current workload is bordering on unmanageable, and probably our staff would say is unmanageable right now.
Backlogs and recruitment struggles are preventing officers from getting here immediately, but the money is ready and waiting when those officers arrive.
And the most discouraging thing is to hear, please hold, all operators are busy, calling 911. So I'm very encouraged by this.
With calls continuing to rise, McBride says this will get police on track as Saskatoon continues to grow, while Parker called on her colleagues to dig deep to find savings moving forward.
I just cannot reasonably or responsibly support this ask, knowing that we'll be taking funding away from core services elsewhere.
Given the pace of Tuesday's meeting and the many decisions yet to come, councillors may have to extend into a fourth day of budget deliberations at the end of the week. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Spending money on hiring new staff was under the microscope during the first hour of city budget deliberations. The city is proposing 193 new full-time equivalent positions over the next 2 years, 98 next year and 95 in 2027. The majority of these new hires would go towards civic operations. Ward 5 Councillor Randy Donauer questioned whether the city really needs to hire more staff. Administration says there's a process to make sure more workers are actually necessary.
We have an expectation across the organization that every individual receives a performance review and performance plan for the year. And we measure that. It's a heavily scrutinized process. Okay. And I think that there are many factors to that. There's no automatic FTEs.
In his opening remarks, the city manager outlined ways to improve city operations, calling audits, quote, absolutely essential to our future. He also pointed to artificial intelligence as a way to boost productivity, saying the city is taking a bullish approach to incorporating AI. More people are homeless in Saskatoon. The city releasing its most recent count of people considered without permanent housing. Hallie Maddock now on what's being seen in the city and the concern to provide better shelter from the cold.
There are 432 more unhoused people in Saskatoon, according to the city's most recent point-in-time count. The 2024 results accounted for 1,931 people who are experiencing various different types of homelessness.
And we know that we do not have the facilities in Saskatoon to be able to fill what's happening. And it's scary. Our city's in a crisis when it comes to homelessness.
The pit count breaks the total number down into 6 different categories. While those who are unsheltered represent the largest category with 725 people, the remaining individuals fall into one of the 5 other categories, depending on their access to shelter.
They represent different aspects of the system and how people are, accommodated within that. But it also helps us understand where the challenges are to navigate between those. So, for example, our number in transitional homes, 444, that is a first step out of homelessness for many people, but we have no more transitional housing for people to go into at the moment.
Eisbister says homelessness can look quite different than what people often think of. While some unhoused people can find ways to temporarily access shelter, there's still a need for long-term solutions.
I think people have to understand what true homelessness is. I mean, even the one number of the 237 that are, sleeping on somebody's couch or doing those type of things, they are at imminent risk of homelessness.
The Saskatoon Tribal Council's Wellness Centre is expected to expand its hours within the week after hiring additional staff to ensure that it's operable 24/7 throughout the winter months. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A Saskatoon man has died following a crash just north of the city. RCMP say the collision between a semi and a car happened yesterday over the noon hour on Highway 41, about 10 kilometers northeast of Saskatoon. The man driving the car died at the scene. He has been identified as an 83-year-old man from Saskatoon. The driver of the semi did not report any injuries. The highway was closed for several hours while RCMP investigated. There is no word on what contributed to the crash. And an 88-year-old Lloydminster man has died following a crash yesterday evening at about 6 o'clock. RCMP say it happened at an intersection about 12 kilometers north of Lloydminster. A car and a truck collided. The driver and passenger of the truck were taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The man driving the car died of his injuries. There is no word on what contributed to the crash. The Saskatchewan First Nation is raising concern over northern emergency response after a couple was stranded on a remote island for nearly 2 days. The Peter Ballantyne Cree Nation says earlier this month a South End couple was stranded on Milton Island after their boat had engine trouble and began taking on water. It says community members began searching for them because RCMP officers were unfamiliar with the lake systems. It says the couple was found nearly 48 hours later and required urgent medical care for hypothermia, but it took hours to arrange a helicopter for them. The Cree Nation is calling on the provincial and federal governments to address gaps in northern emergency response to prevent similar situations. The Ministry of Health says 2 airplanes are contracted for air medical services in northern Saskatchewan, and arrangements are made when a helicopter is required. The RCMP says poor weather conditions made boat and aerial searches too dangerous, and planes were deployed when it was safe to do so. The couple is now safe. Well, Jeff, we better enjoy this, I guess, warmth in comparison to what is coming.
Yeah, we've got ourselves temperatures that are, we were slightly above seasonal today, Chantel, and then maybe a little bit below seasonal as we go forward. Yes, we have a large Arctic air mass that's making its way down. It's slowly moving in on top of us, and yes, we are certainly going to feel the effects of that, particularly this weekend. Other parts of but in terms of active weather, well, the only active of this is going to be the cold, because not a lot in the way of snowfall as we make our way into the next few days. But we are going to be talking about the cold, and I'll have those numbers for you later on.
This year's provincial deficit projection is trending upwards. The government now predicts it will end the year down $427 million. As Wayne Mantika reports, unexpected wildfire and healthcare costs are the main factors.
The provincial government is facing criticism after a projected $12 million budget surplus for the year has turned into a forecasted deficit at mid-year of $427 million.
How on earth can that finance minister defend missing the mark by $500 million on our deficit?
The government believes Saskatchewan is still better off than most provinces.
Here's the situation. There are economic headwinds, but we are in a good place to manage those, Mr. Speaker. The fundamentals of our economy are still strong.
The cost of fighting wildfires this past summer was a major contributing factor. It exceeded budget estimates by $295 million. Healthcare utilization pressures added another $250 million, while government pension funds had to be topped up by $114 million. The added expenses were partially offset by additional federal transfers and higher revenue from various fees. Tariffs imposed by the U.S. and China had less of an impact on government finances.
But we've been fortunate so far that the vast majority of our products that are shipped from here are CUSMA compliant, and so we haven't had a huge impact. But having said that, we've got to get this trade issue settled.
The NDP say it warned of poor government forecasting.
You know, and it's Agribition Week. You know, frankly, cow patty bingo at the arena would be a better predictor of a budget than this finance minister and Sask party government.
The government projects that strength in natural resources, construction, and agriculture will continue to drive the economy, supported by growth in population and employment. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Critics are asking why Nutrien has identified a site for a potential new ocean terminal in Washington and not Vancouver. The potash company says it plans to expand its West Coast capacity by building a new export facility at Washington's Port of Longview, creating additional deep water access in the Pacific Northwest. Saskatchewan's NDP is asking Premier Scott Moe to advocate for the project to be built in Canada by speaking with BC's Premier.
See much investment being targeted for the west coast of our continent, Mr. Speaker. And then we see an ND Premier stand up, Mr. Speaker. That Premier says, we don't want oil in this port, Mr. Speaker, because you can't get a boat into it. And then that same NDP policymaking Premier, Mr. Speaker, questions why another industry isn't making that very investment in our nation.
According to Nutrien, a final decision for the proposed project is expected in 2027. The provincial government is introducing changes to the Saskatchewan Firearms Act as a response to a federal buyback program. The legislation proposes that anyone who seizes a gun under new federal laws must pay the owner fair market value set by the Saskatchewan Firearms Commissioner. The province plans to launch an online portal to provide appraisals for all firearms, ammunition, and accessories included in the federal legislation that reclassified more than 2,500 guns as prohibited. The appraisals can then be used in court if necessary. The province is also giving the Saskatchewan Firearms Office the ability to collect and store firearms for gun owners who voluntarily turn them in for an effort to prevent criminal charges for possessing prohibited weapons while any compensation is pursued. Health officials say the proper steps were taken when cockroaches were discovered in 2 rooms at Regina's General Hospital last month. The Saskatchewan Health Authority and Ministry of Health say they were found in the hospital's mother-baby unit, and there has not been any further evidence of cockroaches in the unit since the initial reports. Saskatchewan's health minister says the insects were accidentally brought in by a patient and their family, and quick pest control action was taken.
The reality is that regardless of how people show up, the Saskatchewan Health Authority's job is to provide dignified and respectful care to whoever shows up at our doors. So, obviously when situations like this are discovered, those rooms are blocked off.
Both the ministry and the SHA also say that any signs of roaches or additional pests would also see the same quick response to ensure the space is safe. Saskatchewan small businesses are hoping for a boost after months of sluggish consumer spending. As Carla Shinkerick reports, as we head into the first Christmas since the tariff war started, local businesses are feeling the strain.
Here at Sask Made Market, customers making a conscious effort to shop local.
It benefits all of us in the end by keeping the money, our tax money in our economy, helping all these little businesses.
And that's exactly what the Canadian Federation of Independent Business is urging shoppers to do November 29th on Small Business Saturday.
It's wedged right between Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and it's really just an opportunity to support local entrepreneurs and shop local.
Not a new message, but perhaps more vital now.
We're seeing confidence levels that are below historic levels. In Saskatchewan in particular, we have around half of our members saying that they're facing low demand, so a lack of consumer spending.
And the reality of Amazon's appeal is very much on the minds of those we spoke to.
Everybody shops on Amazon. It's like a very easy, quick buy, but if you put in the research and look for shops around where you could probably find similar products, maybe even better products.
Staying away from the big Amazons and the big box stores is very key to being able to support a local economy.
So while it may be tempting to shop online, the payback for the community just doesn't compare.
now more than ever, it's more important for us to support those local small businesses who support local sports teams. They donate to local food banks.
Back at this store, American tariffs also resulting in some U.S. customers getting products than this.
They end up having like $100 like handling fee at the end that we don't control, that they don't control.
8 orders like this canceled last week. So for brick and mortar businesses, having customers stop by this shopping season could make all the difference.
I think about if I want this business to be around for 5 or 10 years, not just like if it's convenient for me this winter.
Carla Shinkirk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A Saskatchewan company is hoping the city of Prince Albert will open up the market for cannabis retailers. As Jasmine Pelche reports, a cap is currently preventing another competitor from entering the market.
There are calls for the city of Prince Albert to allow more cannabis stores. At the most recent executive committee meeting, Into the Weeds Cannabis presented a request for the city to re-examine a bylaw preventing the company from opening what would be the 4th store in town. The cannabis retail license in Prince Albert currently has a 3-store cap. Into the Weeds co-owner Megan Paladwar-Valeris says that Prince Albert is the only large Saskatchewan city still operating under a hard cap.
We completely understand and respect community concerns around substance use, homelessness, and downtown safety. But those challenges are not driven by retail cannabis. And responsible operators can be part of the revitalization solution and not the problem.
She told the committee that Into the Weeds has a conditional offer on a location at 1125 Central Avenue, with conditions to be removed by December 15th, but that she can ask for an extension if necessary. The committee says that due to procedure, the bylaw cannot be amended by that date.
We just wanted to be prepared and, make sure that we didn't come to council saying we want to open a retail cannabis store, but we don't know where and we don't know when.
Prince Albert already has a 4th store on 10th Street East. However, it is located on Sturgeon Lake First Nation land, and it is not within Prince Albert's jurisdiction.
This conversation might have to just take a little pause. I appreciate you coming.
The executive committee voted to forward the request to administration for analysis and a report along with further discussion. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Saskatoon's Friendship Inn is getting ready to make thousands of meals. The organization launched its Fill the Plate campaign today with the goal of making 200,000 meals for those in need in Saskatoon. The Friendship Inn says nearly 500,000 meals are expected to be served this year. Nutrien is matching donations made in December up to $125,000. A $5 donation helps fill 1 plate and make a meal. The Friendship Inn relies on fundraising for 95% of its costs. Donations can be made by phone, in person, or through e-transfer.
The big difference when you hear the need within the community, the rising need, and the fact that they could be serving up to 500,000 meals this year, and this is a big part going to providing those meals for community members that really need it.
The Friendship Inn serves breakfast and lunch 365 days a year, averaging 1,250 meals in a day. Nominations are open for the Saskatoon Citizen of the Year Award presented by CTV, but time is running out. The Citizen of the Year Award is given each year to an individual who exemplifies excellence in community service and is making a difference. To find out how to nominate that special someone, guides are available here at CTV Saskatoon. You can also head to our website. The deadline to submit your nomination is Friday, December 5th, and we will announce this year's recipient on December 31st. Still to come, a Canadian Olympian suspended for an anti-doping violation. Also, is an end in sight for the war in Ukraine. You're watching CTV News Live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. In Washington, the White House is projecting optimism on a possible peace deal to end the war in Ukraine. But as the talks go on, so does the fighting. With more, here is CTV's Joy Melvin.
Even with peace proposals on the table, Moscow is not letting up.
Overnight, hundreds of drones and missiles pounded Ukraine's capital, Kyiv. A massive, deadly attack. Officials rescuing children from an apartment complex. This after talks in Geneva produced a framework for a possible peace deal.
Today, our team reported on the new draft of steps, and this is indeed the right approach. I will discuss sensitive issues with President Trump.
Ukraine's president wants to meet President Donald Trump in the next few days to finalize details of a new 19-point plan, heavily modified from the original proposal that critics called a Russian wish list that had Ukraine handing over territory to Russia, slashing Ukraine's army, and renouncing NATO membership.
We have no compromise on the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine, no compromise on national identity on Ukraine, no compromise on the armed forces of Ukraine as a key security guarantee.
Washington insists these aren't insurmountable details, sending U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll to meet with Russian officials in the United Arab Emirates. But even after that red carpet rollout in Anchorage last summer, Russia's Vladimir Putin has not budged.
President Trump was not able to get anything from Russia. He was not even able to get them to come to a ceasefire, something that Ukraine agreed a while ago. And so while these negotiations happen, Russia continues attacking us.
Donald Trump weighing in, saying tremendous progress has been made, but says he'll only meet with President Zelensky and President Putin when the deal to end this war is final or in its final stages. Joy Malvin, CTV News, Washington.
Canadian Olympian Penny Oleksiak has accepted a 2-year suspension for an anti-doping rule violation. The International Testing Agency says the Toronto swimmer is banned from competition after committing 3 whereabouts failures between October of 2024 and June of 2025. A whereabouts failure is defined as any combination of 3 missed tests or filing failures in a 12-month period. Oleksiak has said there were inadvertent errors and she has not used banned substances. The suspension ends July 14, 2027, before the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles in 2028. Oleksiak is Canada's most decorated female Olympian, winning 7 medals and 9 World Championship medals. A handful of Saskatchewan partnerships have been formed to help boost the province's agricultural industry. Jacob Carr with those details tonight.
Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe announced a new 5-year partnership renewal worth $575,000 between the Canadian Western Agribition and Canadian National Railway. Agribition says the agreement will ensure the continuation of CN's free admission day and reflects the company's ongoing commitment to the event. Moe also highlighted the importance of Agribition Week.
We recognize the value that this event brings to Saskatchewan, our province, our nation, but most importantly, the value that this event brings to our agricultural sector in the province. Agribition highlights Saskatchewan producers and their passion and their dedication to the industry.
Another agreement was struck on the day, this time between the Global Institute for Food Security and the Canadian Beef Improvement Network.
Something we've been working on for a decade now, and the resource that the Global Institute for Food Security allows us to be able to do this here in Canada. We need our data and our resources here within Canada to be able to help support Canadian beef producers.
The partnership will offer state-of-the-art DNA testing and analysis services for Canada's beef industry and eliminate the need for Canadian beef producers to send tissue samples abroad for testing.
I think that's the other thing that's really important is the data that we generate can add additional value to the industry participants by being able to have it all in one place to be able to scale it up and leverage it for new traits and technologies for the industry.
The goal of the partnership is providing the beef industry with a faster, secure, and more reliable pathway to gaining genetic insights and certifying pedigree, one of many innovations in agriculture on display at Agribition. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Hi, I'm Shannon Lacroix, on behalf of La Troupe du Jour's Albertine en 5 temps. It's our community play put on by 6 volunteer actors. We follow Albertine at 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70, as well as her sister intermingled. It's a classic French-Canadian play by Michel Tremblay. It's touching and funny. Come to see us from November 27th to December 7th. So Jeff, what's the weather going to be like?
Well, there's going to be plenty of neige out there. That's right. It's going to be a cloudy day for your preview night, which happens to be Thursday, the 27th. And 7:30 p.m., of course, is the evening performance time there at Studio 914. -7 for a daytime high. So by the time we get into the evening hours, it'll be a little colder. And once again, you can go to La Troupe du Jour's website to get your tickets for Albertine in 5 times. I did the English. And there are English surtitles, so that's the English title. But it's a famous play, and you can check it out there at Studio 914. So let's check out some numbers together, starting out with our current temperatures. -10 degrees in Saskatoon, -5 in Prince Albert, and -12 in the Battlefords. And even those light ones add a little bite to that wind. Our almanac for today, our daytime high, -3 degrees. So we were 2 degrees above seasonal today. 10, though, that was the record temperature from 1962 and 1974. The record cold temperature, -32 in 1985. The sun came up at 8:44, and it went down at 5:03.
Coming up, putting Saskatchewan talent on the map, how a couple of musicians are hoping to help others in their success.
Watch MasterChef Canada tonight right here on CTV. Then join me tomorrow morning when I'll talk to the latest eliminated home cook. We'll see you then.
All right, a quick look through the live lens of Skycam. It's been a cold day, but not much in the way of snow expected. We didn't get any snow here. That was not the case in other parts of the province, and we do have some totals here for you. Now, these come from Environment Canada, and they have said that these have been collected using the automatic stations. They have not been verified by the human eye or a ruler, but we'll go by this. And you can see Maple Creek, 15 centimeters of snow yesterday, 13 in Cypress Hills. I think Calgary got between 10 and 18 centimeters of snow. Assiniboia 4, Coronach 17, and in the Estevan area, it varied between 10 and 20 centimeters. So certainly southern Saskatchewan received a fair amount of snow, but that wasn't the case for central and northern Saskatchewan. It wasn't a big deal at all. And really, we have quiet conditions for the next while, because even though temperatures are going to be dropping as this cold air, Arctic air slides down on top of us, not much going on. A little different for parts of BC starting on Thursday. Tomorrow, a bit of a break for them, but they are going to be seeing more in the way of precipitation in southern BC, Vancouver Island, and then into parts of the Pacific Northwest of the U.S. of A. -10 in Saskatoon, -5 in Prince Albert with cloudy skies, clear in -12 right now in the Battlefords. The hot spot in the province, well, that was Elbow at 1 degree. Scott was the cold spot at -16. Around the province we go, -7 degrees right now in Lloydminster, -8 in both Swift Current and Estevan, -3 in the Jaw, -6 in Regina, and -4 in York. And into central parts of the province, temperatures ranging from -3 degrees in Hudson Bay down to -12 in the Battlefords, -10 in Saskatoon. But Kindersley's at -4, -6 in Meadow Lake, and -4 as well in Wynyard. Up north, temperatures don't drop off significantly compared to the other parts of the province. -10 in Stony Rapids. It does warm up to -5 in both South End and Sandy Bay Island Falls. And down south, -13 right now in Maple Creek, -14 in Coronach, and -8 in Carlisle, -4 in Melville, -4 as well in Elbow and Outlook, -3 in Indian Head. Now, we take a look at our futurecast, and as I mentioned, quiet conditions. Those pressure lines, generally speaking, not very close together, so that indicates light winds, and all that colored stuff on the map, that purple action indicating snow, that moves through the Idaho Panhandle and then down through Montana, not really impacting Saskatchewan at all. So cloudy or mainly cloudy skies for northern Saskatchewan tomorrow. -6 in La Ronge, -12 in Stony Rapids, -8 in Buffalo Narrows, -9 in Key Lake, -9 as well in Meadow Lake, just a hair warmer in Spiritwood, -4 in Kindersley, -5 in Rosetown. Mainly cloudy skies and temperatures hanging around that -3 degree mark for southwestern Saskatchewan. A similar temperature pattern for the most part for the southeast. A little cooler in Estevan, -7 for a high, and -7 in Humboldt, -4 in Watrous and Hudson Bay, and -8 in Melfort under cloudy or mainly cloudy skies. -15 for the Battlefords overnight tonight, -9 tomorrow. The winds shift around in terms of the direction, not as intensity. Maybe some morning fog, -9 degrees, as I mentioned, -8 on Thursday, and then in and around -12 degrees right through to Monday, and -10 on Tuesday. Prince Albert's overnight temperature temperature, minus 12 degrees, slight shift in the wind direction, but the wind speed hanging around that 10 clicks, so light winds, minus 8 on Thursday. Again, double-digit temperatures hanging around that minus 12 degree mark right through to Tuesday. And as you can see, we've got ourselves minus 14 overnight for Saskatoon under partly cloudy skies, minus 8 with mainly sunny conditions for Wednesday, and Thursday minus 7, minus 10 on Friday, minus 11 on Saturday, minus 13 on Sunday, and only a bit of a recovery on Monday with minus 11 degrees, minus 10 on Tuesday. Hey, I just referenced that song, I think. Saskatoon singer-songwriter Joni Mitchell will receive a Lifetime Achievement Award at next year's Juno. And Junos, Mitchell will be honored for her fearless and groundbreaking career. The Junos have also announced Nelly Furtado, you just saw her there, will be inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame as well. The ceremony takes place next March in Hamilton. Reggae pioneer Jimmy Cliff has died at the age of 81. Cliff may be best known for his role in the 1972 film The Harder They Come. Its soundtrack, which included several songs by Cliff, helped introduce reggae to a global audience. According to Cliff's family, he died following a bout of pneumonia after suffering a seizure. No, that's not the Night Train. This is Guns N' Roses, and they're coming to Canada next year. The band has announced more than 60 tour dates. The last time they were on stage together was 2023. The tour also comes with 2 brand new singles, Nothing and Atlas, both out next week. There will be 3 Canadian stops, Toronto, Vancouver, and Edmonton.
All right, Jeff, time for Pick of the Day. You've got us going inside and outside.
We do, yes, indeed. So let's start out. We'll start outside, and this is from Dave Dickinson. Dave has sent us pictures before, and they also have rainbows in them, but Dave sent us that one wonderful rainbow shot taken 8 miles west of Waka. That's the name of my new country album, actually. This picture was taken on Sunday at approximately 9 in the morning, but the fact that we had rainbows when it's cold and snowy out, that's pretty impressive, so thank you, Dave. This next one comes to us from Connie. A lovely sunrise on a crisp November morning at Meeting Lake. Yes, so they definitely have some snow on the lake there. And thank you, Connie, for that beautiful shot. And finally, from Adele, my sister-in-law, Janet Ortman, has her Christmas village set up in her business, which is Janet's Hair Salon in Humboldt. She says it's for the people, and everyone is welcome to stop by and view. So a lovely Christmas display there in Humboldt. So thank you, Adele, for sharing that with us. And if you'd like to share an image with us, you can send it to CFQC News at ctv.ca, or you can scan the QR code on the screen.
Still to come on CTV News, labeling talent, how a Saskatchewan couple is providing a boost to homegrown musicians. A couple of Saskatchewan artists have started up their own music label, and they're on the lookout for local talent. Damian Smith has that story.
Over a year into its label launch, Western Seer Records is on the lookout for new talent.
We have created community is people who are in it for the long game and value, I think, process over product.
Farming wives and farmers. Both independent artists themselves, the married couple is looking to guide others on their journey in the music industry.
And to be able to encourage and build a confidence in young artists to remain in the province and leverage some resources to assist with that is one of my most loftiest goals.
The first artist to release an album under Seer Records is Rocanville's Lachlan Neville. The couple believes that labels can provide opportunities to network with others in the industry and have seen it firsthand while working with Neville himself.
He did get in those communities very quickly, and people accepted him and saw what we saw. I think sooner than had he been going it alone and trying to figure it out.
The Berglunds both have high praise and expectations for Neville, putting his name in with some of the greats.
It felt like we just stumbled across a once-in-a-lifetime individual. And I'll pick up the phone and I will confidently say, you know, you have your Guy Clarks and you have your Towns Van Zants and you have your Willie Nelsons and there's a Lachlan Neville.
Neville will be joining Blake on his Trouble with the Truth tour, which will take them through several communities in Saskatchewan and Alberta over the next few weeks. Damien Smith, CTV News, Regina.
When we come back, one of Canada's most significant court cases told through a new lens, and later new sparkle set to drop in Times Square.
Welcome back. Time to take a look at our rural numbers for tomorrow and sky conditions. So generally looking at mainly cloudy skies throughout the region, and temperatures, some places doing not too badly. Look at that, -4 for Kindersley and Outlook. It cools off, though, by the time we get to Meadow Lake and Lloydminster's, both locations in at -9 degrees. -4 as well for Hudson Bay, -6 in Wynyard. And then as we make our way into southern Saskatchewan, well, generally speaking, temperatures are not bad. And seasonal or just slightly below that or slightly above. Maple Creek at -2, -3 in Leader, -6 in East End, Cypress Hills. The same for Carlisle, -4 in Kenora. So let's take a gander up at Blaine Lake, -8 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and the wind shifting around a little bit. Just a reminder, I don't even know if there's tickets left, but on Saturday, the 29th, is the Christmas Gala, and that's put on by the Blaine Lake Community. That's, I believe, at the Community Club is putting that one on, so you can probably contact the town office to find out if there's tickets for that, but that's coming up on Saturday. All right, so Blaine Lake, of course, one of those many communities where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
Greetings, everyone. A bill passed in Manitoba last year recognizing Louis Riel as the province's first premier, settling a long-running matter going back 150 years. The Métis leader was a controversial figure in Canadian history for many decades, but now, thanks to the movement towards reconciliation and teaching tools like the production of the trial of Louis Riel, his image is now being remembered differently.
I was leading my people against this insanity when I was pounced upon.
A performance of the closing statement Louis Riel gave to the jury that would decide his fate in the same city where the trial took place. It's a significant moment in Canadian and Métis history, still being told 140 years later through a long-running historical theater production.
The trial of Louis Riel has been a beacon of hope, of information, of reconciliation. But even before reconciliation, you need truth. And for all of these 59 years, the trial of Louis Riel has been about truth.
Along with this year's milestone, since the real trial of Louis Riel, next year will mark 60 years of the production itself. Its producer says during that time, opinions have slowly changed on Riel and his fate, especially after the creation of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in 2008.
Since then, the tide is kind of starting to turn. People are starting to realize that you cannot deny what happened to Louis Riel in 1885 in Regina.
Riel was put on trial for high treason in 1885 for helping lead the Red River Rebellion. After a 4-day trial, a 6-person jury found Riel guilty, sentencing him to death. He was hanged on November 16, 1885 in Regina, where the RCMP Heritage Museum now sits. Years later, concerns have been raised regarding how the trial was conducted, including jury selection, the location, and the behavior of Riel's legal counsel.
15 years, the Métis could not get a single representative.
With the 60th anniversary of the production coming up next year, plans remain to continue retelling one of the country's biggest court cases, and a moment which would forever alter the lives of the Métis people of Canada.
What I'm seeing today is a captive audience of people questioning what the truth really is about what happened to Louis Riel. And until you understand and accept that, you can't talk about reconciliation.
If
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
Some sad news from the curling world today. Hall of Fame curler and longtime broadcaster Colleen Jones has died. Jones skipped her teams to the World Women's Championships in 2001 and 2004. The Nova Scotian appeared in the Scotties Tournament of Hearts more times than any other curler in history. She set a record as the youngest skip to win the Canadian title in 1982. Jones later spent decades working for the CBC as a reporter and sports host. Colleen Jones was 65. A full week after their championship parade, the Saskatchewan Roughriders are getting back to normal. Off-season activities continue today with the signings of American offensive lineman Darius Washington and Canadian defensive lineman Liam Hoskins, one of this year's Rider draft picks. But as Donovan Mace reports, the team still has a long list of pending free agents.
There's been little rest for the Saskatchewan Roughriders football operations team since lifting the Grey Cup.
You kind of pass the Grey Cup around and you go back with it into the coach's office. And then now we're a week out and we're already back at it.
Now with 45 players set to become free agents, O'Day and his team are already getting to work to retain as many as they can.
I didn't have any players walk in and tell me that they didn't want to be part of the team. So, but we haven't really gone down the road with all this. In fairness, we're just starting those conversations.
From the Alouette 35.
That includes 39-year-old quarterback Trevor Harris.
I'd be shocked if I feel like I turn around and say like it's a wrap. But maybe I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know. Just because I don't want to put any pressure on it.
Now, while the Grey Cup MVP considers his future, O'Day says he would love nothing more than to have Harris back should he wish to continue playing.
I don't get the sense that he's done playing football, but we'd love to have him back. It's just a matter of having a conversation with him and then once we get down the road to figure out a contract.
O'Day reiterates continuity of the roster will be a cornerstone for this team as they try to repeat as Grey Cup champions for the first time in franchise history.
We really like a lot of the players that are on our team, and we're going to try to get as many back. When you win, and especially when you win a Grey Cup, it becomes more difficult.
Now, the Riders do have some time to chip away at their list of pending free agents ahead of the expected opening of free agency early next year. Donovan Mace, CTV News, Regina.
Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon is currently just under $1.57 a liter. The lowest price in town, $1.45.9. On Saskatchewan markets, Crescent Point was down today. Cameco also down to $37.42 and Nutrien down $1.38. Coming up, the chosen names for a couple of Komodo dragons at the Toronto Zoo. Then Times Square gets set to bling in the new year.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Just a quick correction on the gas prices. Average price $1.28, lowest $1.09. We have some new fancy graphic boards.
Okay.
Had some different information than we had. So.
It's a glitch, as they say in RoboCop.
This is true. All right. Before we go, we have to tell you about the names for the two new Komodo dragons at the Toronto Zoo have been chosen. We talked about this a few weeks ago. The two 4-year-old siblings will now be called Rhea and Como. The names were selected after more than 10,000 votes were cast online. The zoo says Rhea has already been introduced into her new habitat, but Como is set to remain in the zoo's wildlife and health center for some time before eventually being rotated back into habitat.
Right on.
So, all right. And a new crystal ball will be dropped in Times Square this year to ring in 2026. The ball was unveiled in New York City as it made its inaugural ascent up the 139-foot pole. It features over 5,000 Waterford crystals, nearly twice what covered the previous iteration. This is only the 9th time the ball has been updated since the tradition began in 1907. That's interesting.
That is interesting because it's Waterford crystals because I think the last few times it's been Swarovski.
Yes.
Yes. Tough to say, but lovely to admire.
Yes, nice to look at. Not like your forecast, though. Right?
Yeah, it's gonna be okay tomorrow. It's not gonna be crazy cold, but it'll be colder on the weekend.
I'm looking down the road.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.